Hi friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and Elwing and I are here today to talk to you about some really incredible books that we think you might enjoy. So I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely thrilled that 2020 is almost over. I'm really excited to start the new year, a brand new, fresh year, full of possibilities. However, despite the chaos and uncertainty that everybody had to face this year in 2020, I do think there were really good things that came out of it too, particularly some fantastic books. So it was really hard to narrow down some of my favorites, but since this is the very last video that we'll be posting before the new year starts, I thought I'm going to talk about my 3 favorite books of 2020. And I hope that they sound interesting and that they might be something that you want to check out yourself. So the first one is Long Bright River by Liz Moore. Now, don't be intimidated by the size. I know it's a really long book, but it's fantastic and it's a really good story. Once you get drawn into it, you're not going to be able to get to leave until it's all finished. It's so good. And basically, this is about two sisters in Philadelphia. One is a police officer, and the other sister is addicted to prescription medications and is living on the streets. And in the beginning of the story, the sister that's addicted to drugs goes missing, and the police officer sister has to find her. And that sounds like a really simple, basic premise, but it's about so much more than that. And it's a really deep book. It does have some heavy themes, but it's also really beautiful too. And what I love the best about this is just, the writing is absolutely fantastic. Some of the best writing that I've read in a long time. And it's a little bit of a mystery, it's a little bit of a family drama, it's a little bit of a crime novel, all rolled into one. And it's just absolutely fantastic. It goes back and forth between the past and the present, showing the lives of both the sisters that showed, and it helps demonstrate, well, why did each of them turn out the way that they did? How did they get raised together and one go one path and one go in a path that's so very different? And it's absolutely just a wonderful, wonderful book, and I highly recommend it. Long Bright River. Now the next book is one that I'm sure you might recognize the author. It's Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. And he's a pretty famous author. If you're familiar with the titles, A Man Called Ove, Britt Marie Was Here, Beartown, he's written all of them. Now, I liked A Man Called Ove. I'm not a huge Fredrik Backman fan, so this wasn't something I was immediately excited to pick up. I just did it on a whim because I really liked the title and I thought the cover was kind of cool, but it ended up being one of my favorite books of the year. It's just so fantastic. It takes you on every type of emotional trip you can possibly think of. It'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, it'll make you super thoughtful, and it'll just make you feel giddy. It's a fantastic book. It's about a would-be bank robber who is attempting to rob a bank. It fails miserably. They flee and end up hiding in what they think is an empty apartment. However, it's not. It's being shown by a realtor to a bunch of other people, and now the robber is stuck in this building with all these strangers who are very anxious, hence the title, Anxious People. And it's a stalemate between the people in the building and the police officers who have now come to the scene to try to get this would-be bank robber. But it's about a lot of other things. It's about suicide, it's about depression, it's about the joy of life, and it seems weird that all those things would be in the same book, but they are, and it's done so beautifully. But it's also, I think, the thing that makes it so beautiful is it's really about people and the way that they connect and it can affect each other's lives. The way that you talk to people and the way that you interact with people and how that can cause things to happen, like reactions that you would never even know were possible, and how everything is connected. And that is really just the overall theme of this book, is that everything is connected and everything comes together in the end in a way that it will blow your mind. I know it blew mine. And it's just an overall beautiful, beautiful book. So I highly recommend this one, guys. You're going to love it. Anxious People by Fredrik Backman. Definitely, if you're a fan of him, pick this up. But even if you're not, give it a try. Because, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of him. And it totally blew my mind, this book. Okay. Now, this is the #1, hands down, best adult fiction book that I have read in 2020. And it is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Victoria Schwab. Now, this is something that isn't a bit of an impulse buy for me, this author, because I absolutely love her. She writes children's books, she writes young adult books, she writes adult books, and so when I heard this was coming out, I had to immediately get it, but I did not expect to love it as much as I did. I did not expect it to be my favorite book of the year, but it absolutely is. Oh my gosh, this book. I just want to hand it to every single person in the world because it's so fantastic. And it's basically about this young woman in the 1700s named Adeline in France who wants more out of her life than what she has. She's going to be expected to marry this man that she doesn't care about, and she's adventurous and she wants to see the world, and she's basically just stuck in this little village. So as she's fleeing her wedding night, she ends up making a bargain with a dark being. Could be a god, could be a demon, could be a spirit. We never really know. For freedom. She wants her freedom, but it comes with a cost. So with her freedom, she also has to deal with the fact that now nobody can remember her. As soon as she passes out of the line of sight of somebody, they absolutely forget her, which is terrible. What a terrible bargain to have to make. So she has immortality now. She's free to go and do anything she wants, but no one can remember her. So the book takes us back and forth between when this happened to present day. She's in New York City, and she comes across this man in a bookstore who can remember her. Who she goes into the bookstore one day and then comes back the next day and he remembers her. Wow, how is that possible? What is going on? So this book is a little bit of a mystery, but it's also just this beautiful, beautiful story about this young woman who just has to grow and learn and, experience immortality and this life that she wanted but didn't want at the same time. And it's just, I can't even describe to you how beautiful and amazing this book is. It's so fantastic. So it does have a little bit of magical realism in it. But I wouldn't call it a fantasy. It's definitely not a fantasy. It's definitely literary fiction, with just a touch of magical realism in it. But it makes the book so fantastic. And I just want to recommend this to everybody. I think you would really enjoy it. I know I did. And the writing is just absolutely beautiful. So that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Well, those are my top 3 favorite books of 2020. I hope that they sound awesome to you. If so, they are all available at the Farmington Community Library, so please feel free to put them on hold. Give us a call. We can do that for you, or you can go on the website and do it yourself, and then you can pick them up during our curbside service hours. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the week and a wonderful rest of the year, and we'll see you in 2021. Bye-bye.